Hi, and welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel. Today we're down in Lansing, Iowa, and we're about to take that houseboat up the river to St. Paul. So this one's not my boat. A friend's brother-in-law just bought this, and so we've been hired along to help bring it up the river. So we're going to see how far we can get. This is day one, Friday, and we've just been going over the boat and getting everything situated.
You know where a really nice place to put a gate would be?
Yeah. Alright, so our first job is supposedly there's some weeds stuck in the prop. So we're going to dive down there. Got this fancy dive knife, aka a duck knife. See what we can chop out.
Are you standing up?
Yeah, I'm in mud. I don't know if I found solid bottom yet, but I'm on something. Alright, clear, so I think we should be set.
Till tomorrow.
Yeah, until we back out of here and suck up.
Yeah, you grew some weeds on your chest.
That's 2019.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Here we go. Well, what do we think, boys? Here we go, huh?
I think we're going, yeah. Throttles are like in the same position, but this one's 500 RPM less. How many gauges work? And how
We
many
need the blower running. We got the depth gauge working. How do we get that working?
Oh.
I don't know, it just kind of came on. Alright, so I'm going to stay between the red and the green and try not to run into any barges. In the boat info, did it say what RPM it likes to cruise at? And here we are underway. We have just crossed the Iowa-Minnesota border. We still have Wisconsin off to the right. And we're heading up towards our first lock and dam. So we're still getting used to our engines and gauges here. We noticed that the starboard engine runs a little bit hotter, and we're going a little bit slower than supposedly our cruising speed is closer to 10, but we're keeping things a little lower on the throttle for now. We're just passing the Genoa power plant. Apparently this is slated for demolition later this year. Alright, we were going a little too slow, so we missed this cycle. We have to wait for the lock to go through, and then we'll go on the next one. So the Mississippi looks super wide right here, but off to the side of the channel, it's actually really shallow. So most of this big wide stretch is all wetlands and shallows and sort of flooded river bottoms. So we have to follow our red and green marks the whole way up to make sure we're staying in the dredged channel. Some of these markers get hit by barges a lot, so a lot of them are tipping over. The sun's finally coming out. We're passing Brownsville, Minnesota. We have a big artificial sand dune where the Army Corps of Engineers dumps their dredge tailings. And over here is the town of Brownsville. It's an old historic town back against the bluff. These houses up on the levee look a little newer though. Looks like there's a little harbor entrance there. I think this is just a private harbor for the houses nearby. So we're looking at another dredge tailings pile. We're trying to figure out if this is a giant homemade slip and slide or what's going on over there. Whatever it is, it looks pretty cool. Every now and then we get some floating debris. Got some kind of log or stick here, so we're just maneuvering around it. Alright, we are coming up on Crosse, Wisconsin, and this might be our stop for the night. Maybe we can find a mechanic to look into some of the issues we've noticed. I think we're going to head for one of these marinas up here. And we're at the fuel dock again, because this thing gets pretty thirsty. Also doing another vital service, the sewage pump out. Even though we haven't really used the head very much, we might as well learn how to pump this thing out. Alright, so on the way from Lansing to La Crosse, we had a couple little issues here. This engine was running a little hot. And this one was backfiring. It seems to have stopped now. And then our auxiliary generator kind of vomited its oil everywhere. So I'm going to examine that, see what's going on, and then we might check some filters and whatnot on these engines and see if we can tell anything else with them. And here we are at the La Crosse Marina, down on the transient dock. That's where we're parking up for the night. Quick tour of the houseboat. We have the helm up here. We have a little walkway down to the cuddy cabin. And we've got a few steps down here to the galley. Regular house fridge. Little electric stove, little tiny sink. And probably the best appliance and the most modern thing on here, this is a combination toaster oven, coffee maker, and George Foreman grill. So this is probably the most amazing piece of equipment on this entire boat. Let's see, we've got vintage stereo here. Back here we've got the master stateroom, which is kind of a living room full of gear at the moment. And looking back into the galley, we've got the little head here. Pretty standard. Lots of closets. Lots of cabinets. Pretty good amount of storage space here. And then down here we have the cuddy cabin, or as Joel called it, the cuddly cabin.
The cuddly cabin. This is what the cuddling is.
And that's about it. Alright, Carl is currently using the ridiculous boat appliance to cook dinner. So we're actually making some hamburgers on the grill top here. I recommend in the future that everyone buy a combination toaster griddle coffee maker for their boat, RV, or home.